On everybody out there in YouTube world, YouTube land? I am Real Estate Jay, and let's talk about the market in 2023 and why I think as an investor it is a great time to get into the markets. And then I'll maybe touch on some things for buyers and sellers as well. But as an investor, this is a great time to start getting into real estate if you haven't already, and if you're already in the game, this is a time to pick up all the pieces, man. So let me ask you guys two things before we get into it. One, please like the video. This helps the YouTube algorithm get it out to other people to see this content. And two, please subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of content coming out and some content already on the page where we're actually out in the field going to fix and flips. We are sharing numbers, like the real numbers on things. And then we got like just sit downs like here where we share some knowledge with other people. So please subscribe. So let's get into the video and let's talk about 2022 real quick. Let's talk about that year, then get out of there because we're not in there anymore as far as the housing market. And let me just share my thoughts on 2023 and where I think we're going and why I think it's a great time as an investor to get into it, right? So real quick, first, second quarter, 2022, super hot market, right? Super hot market, right? We had low inventory, low interest rates, and people. It was just, you could sell anything in that market. Then the Fed started to manipulate the interest rate a little bit. Once they started to do that, it took it from a seller's market to a buyer's market very, very quickly. And so once that happened, people that could afford at 3%, when they start getting into 6% and 7%, they can no longer buy that same house anymore. And just to touch on that real quick, if you've never messed around with the interest rate on like mortgagecalculator.com, just type it in and just see the difference in the interest rate and how it changes your payment. And again, that's just all interest, right? That's not going into anything but the bank's pocket. And what ended up happening was they had to either do two things: readjust their buying criteria or sit on the sideline. So that's what ended up happening. Now, why I think it's a great opportunity in 2023 is because, look, man, there's some uncertainty to certain people. And now they're like, oh, I don't want to buy. And then you got sellers who want to sell their property, but they may not be in a situation where they want to pay the higher interest rate. So now you got, November, December time, interest rates started to kind of stabilize a little bit. The mortgage rates, right? They started to kind of stabilize just a little bit. And I'm not an economist. I'm not into all that. So I'm not going to get all into the inflation numbers and all that stuff. That's not the channel for this. That's not this type of channel. But it looks like they're starting to kind of understand this inflation a little bit. But one thing I did see was November, December time, they didn't hike it up like they were, in that third quarter. So I'm hoping that they kind of stabilize the interest rate a little bit. I would love for it to be somewhere in the fives, just even, mid fives, low fives, and just stay there because people need to see the interest rates kind of staying at that number so they can get used to that. They're not used to all the hiking. So as an investor, why do I think it's a great time to buy? Well, look at this, man. So as investors, we know about a lot of different strategies, right? Seller financing strategies such as subject twos and seller financing like land contracts and wraparounds, and we know how to buy houses with cash and all these things, right? Right now, people are nervous. Now, you got a lot of people who have distressed homes who are nervous as well. But let's just talk about people who have nice homes with mortgages. This is an awesome time to do some subject twos. For those who have already done them or learning how to do them, of course, you have to be careful with subject to deals. And what subject to is, subject to means that you're buying the property to the existing financing. So the mortgage that's already in place, you're going to buy that house with the mortgage and you're going to take over those payments. So you got a lot of people that are going into foreclosure, right? Like I'm watching the numbers and I'm like, there's a lot of people in foreclosure. So if you got the right type of marketing, you can meet these people and start presenting them ideas that, hey, if they're in a situation where they can't pay this mortgage anymore, because there's a lot of reasons that happen, you present them a win-win situation and you can take over their mortgage payments. There's a lot of people in foreclosure right now. There's a lot of forbearance people. I just spoke to a lady about maybe 4 or 5 months ago. She did the forbearance thing that they were doing in COVID in 2021. came out of the forbearance. She could not pay the lump sum payment. She had a tenant inside the house. She was an absentee owner about an hour and a half away from the house. I went to the home. The house was in shambles. Like, it was pretty bad. But had the numbers worked out a little bit better, I could have bought that deal on subject to. But there's situations like that that are now going to start carrying over into 2023. All those people that have been holding off for 2022, 2021, 2023 is going to be a big year for foreclosures, I believe. And this is a great time to pick up some properties for cheap. So there's an advantage as a realtor. Buyers are still active. So if you're fixing and flipping right now, buyers are still active. And what I'm thinking and that I'm seeing is that you got kind of more serious buyers, right? More serious buyers they're not going to come in with these inflated numbers. They're going to come in. They understand, okay, the house prices are dropping, but they're also still out there looking. So I think that it's still a great time to still fix and flip. I think that maybe not in volume, but maybe if you're doing a couple that you can manage, pretty good, it's a great opportunity to fix and flip those houses in the medium income range, though, right? Not the high end flips, So like right now I'm in Michigan, and houses that are, 200,000, 250 are great. 300, you might want to start getting away from that, right? But if you're in like the 150, 200, maybe 250 range, great. Once you start getting above 300, you might want to maybe, in my opinion, maybe not flip those houses. So buyers are still active, so that's good. From what I've been told and what I'm seeing, the inventory is pretty good. So you got active buyers and you've got good inventory. So, I think right now as a fix and flipper, you got to fix your houses up really, really nice now. Like, there's no way around it. Like, you're going to have to really give them a good kitchen, a good bathroom. Like, there's no, like, kind of giving them that half rehab where you just give them, like, a kitchen, but you give them the old bathroom. Like, people aren't going to want that. So you're going to have to put a little bit more money into your rehabs, which is going to really, really turn over well when you show these houses to buyers. So I think that's where we're going, because in 2021 and 2022, you could do what's called hotel deals, or just like half rehabs where you buy a house, you clean it up, and you don't have to do much to it, and you could flip it and make a lot of money. You're not going to be able to do that in this market, right? That house is going to sit. So you're going to have to put a lot more money into your projects. But again, still a great opportunity for investors to invest because you can buy them at a significant discount. And the last thing is you're going to have to be conservative about your numbers as an investor. You got to. So there's just no way around it. I mean, you can't anticipate that, what I'm going to buy this house at right now, I'm going to sell for $10,000 in 6 months from now, 4 months from now, or 3 months from now. No, you need to run your numbers as if it's coming down, right? So that's how I run my numbers. So if I'm saying this house is worth $200,000, I'm immediately saying, okay, I can possibly sell for $180,000. And I'm running my numbers off like $180,000, $190,000 because I'm just being super, super conservative because I want to build in all of that equity if things do happen to turn again, right? Because we're not in control of the feds. If the feds do what they did, I want to make sure that I'm at least going to make some money on these deals. So I think you need to be conservative. I think it's a great time to pick up some foreclosures. And that's a great time to be creative. And like I said, their buyers are still active. So people are still buying houses. And I think you just need to put more money into your flips, make them very, very nice. And I think you should be fine. So where I think 2023 is, I think it's still going to be a great opportunity for investors to buy. Fix and flipping, for me, myself, I'm going to try not to do a lot of fix and flips. I'm going to try to get more rentals because rentals are going through the roof. Like, oh my gosh, you can clean up on a rental if you buy it right. But I think it's still a great time to buy houses, right? So wanted to make that quick video for you guys. Don't get scared if you are out there looking in 2023. If you just got into real estate, even during this time, still a good time to get in. Just find your way, right? And kind of listen to podcasts and things like that and see what people are doing because there's a lot of great new strategies that people are implementing, all right? So that is the video for right now. And I'm going to tell you guys, like I tell you after every video, to keep moving, keep learning, and keep growing. And I'm going to see y'all at work.